Just fall asleep and wake when it's all through. There's battle scars on all my guitars, but still I come out here and play. And now I've lost a touch again. And now I'm only 1 in 20,000. I promise not to let you go. Just close your eyes and sleep right through the falling snow. And when I finally wash ashore, I'm coming back to kiss the girl I kissed before. Of all the shooting stars I knew, I never fell for anyone but you. There's battle scars on all my guitars, but I still come out here and play. There's battle scars on my face and my arms, but you still kiss me every day. There's battle scars on all my guitars, but I still come out every day. There's battle scars on my face and my arms, but you still kiss me anyway.
The N.FM, I am DJ Zouain. This is The Hijack. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being a part of the program. If you ever feel like a little bit of a rush in your life, get prepared for a show. Get prepared for something. Something that you're going to do. Something that you do all of the time. Like, I don't know, a podcast. And then 30 seconds before showtime, realize that you have forgotten a major portion of the show. So a major portion of the show prep, and that, my friend, will give you a rush of a lifetime. So the show is brought to you by the N.FM. Obviously, you can go to the N.FM and you can actually scroll down. You can actually check the podcasts out there. All the podcasts, all the mixes, everything you can check out at the N.FM. If you're going to join the conversation, do so on Twitch. That's where I mainly look for feedback and information and all of that jazz. So thank you for that. My name is DJ Zouain, aka the Audible Chocolate of podcasting. You can find all of my stuff at the N.FM, but you can also scroll down to the bottom and you can click on the Bud Docs label, the Bud Docs sign, and you too can partake in the wonders that is cannabis. So go over there and talk to Dr. Chanlate. Dr. Chanlate at buddocs.org will hook you up. We're getting ready to do we have a production day set up for them to finish the educational series called Medical Minute that we're doing with them. So that's pretty cool. Now, there's a few things that I wanted to talk about today. One of them is that Dr. Oz is running for Senate in Pennsylvania. Are we not done with celebrities at this point? Are we not done with celebrities in government? And of course, he's running as a conservative because that is what they do. I mean, I'm sure there's a Democrat or two that were celebrities that have been elected and are sleazeballs. But really, honestly, the only one that I can think of, the only Democrat that I can think of that has been swept up in scandal and is no longer in the Senate, I think it was the Senate, was the comedian. Frank. My goodness, what is his name? It's killing me here. Whatever. Frank. I don't know. Frank? No. What the hell was his name? He is a bona fide comedian from the SNL and sketch comedy and stand up days, and then he went into government, and then he did the thing with the grabbing the not. He didn't grab anybody's boobs. He pretended on a picture that he was going to grab a reporter, I believe a journalist's boobs, and that right there was enough to get him out. To get him out of office. But we have people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz is currently being investigated for child sex trafficking. And what's his name? All he did was make a joke and pretend on a picture, like. And it wasn't like it was last week. He did it. He did it. When was it? Years and years prior to that. Let me see. Hold on. Comedian, member of Senate, boobs, holding. I don't know. Al Franken. Wow. Holy crap. What a time to be alive. This is all I posted. This is all I put on Google. I put comedian, member of Senate, boobs holding. Al Franken. That's who I was thinking. Frank. That's why I said Frank. Al Franken was found guilty of a scandal, of an unfunny scandal, and he was a he was a senator from where was he from? He was a senator from Minnesota, and then he got the scandal where, let me see if we have the boob holding scandal thing here. But either way, it doesn't matter. He was removed from, or he left his position after this picture went viral and people were calling him out. But he's a comedian. He was a comedian when this happened, or he wasn't a comedian, but he is a comedian. Like once a comedian, always a comedian. What is that? Once a comedian, always a comedian, man. I guess. And yes, that was not funny. That was something that today you do not do. But back then, when he did that, it wasn't that big of a deal. And I'm sorry, it wasn't looked at as that big of a deal, which I think should count for something. It was a bad move on his part, obviously, but now we have Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz literally peddles shit cures and how to take a poop better, how your poop. He likes poop a lot. Dr. Oz likes poop a lot, and now we have him running. I mean, if he's peddling bullshit, well, no better place than the Senate. I don't know, man. Are we sick of this? Are we sick of these celebrities in government? I mean, Trump just basically slapped his name on stuff and stiffed people out of money by pretending to be a billionaire. So that's that celebrity. Ronald Reagan was an actor before he was president. And I know that conservative me, my old conservative self, I used to look fondly at old Dutch, which is very weird to me. Now I'm not so much, because you can trace a lot of the bad shit that's happened to millennials and the subsequent generations. You can actually look at Ronald Reagan and the subsequent presidencies as the reason why we are where we are. But he was the one, I mean, the voodoo economics, Reaganomics, I think they called them. I don't know. I was too young for Reagan, but I knew who he was when I got here. Well, I got to the States during HW. Herbert Walker Bush was the president, and that summer, I believe, or I guess that January, 90, I want to say 92, was when Bill Clinton got elected. I remember being in the Heathrow Elementary Library watching the ceremony happen. I was, I guess, 9 years old, about to turn 10. So, but Herbert Walker was the first one that I experienced as a kid. I mean, I was here in 1982. Obviously, I was born in Boston, but to me, it's just a no-brainer not to do this. I mean, what is with America and celebrity government officials? Do we have, I mean, what other countries famously like to hire celebrities? Does Germany have they have Angela Merkel, but they have other people in their parliament. Well, now they don't have Angela Merkel. She just left, and now it's some dude. That's the chancellor. I wonder if the chancellors in Germany look back at 1930s Germany and using that title. I wonder if they feel weird having that same title as somebody so evil as Adolf Hitler. I wonder. I would certainly have if somebody in a position of power did something outrageous and awful and one of the worst crimes in human history, and then they're like, "Hey, Zouain, I want you to take that position, and now you're going to be Chancellor Zouain." Nope, no, thank you. We're going to change the name of that. We're going to change something. Maybe change the spelling. Maybe use a different language. I don't know. But I'm not sharing the same title as one of the worst, the proprietor, the committer, the person who orchestrated one of the worst crimes in human history. I would not be Chancellor of Germany. I'd be a Chancellor of something else, maybe some other country. Not Chancellor of Germany. That's way too close. I don't even drink Fanta. I don't even wear Hugo Boss. I don't do any of that because it's too close to the Nazis. I want to stay away from them. Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent here, but the conservatives are very they're really easy to trick, from what I can tell. Dr. Oz, you got Trump. Reagan at least was composed, Dutch was a composed man, You have people like Mehmet Oz. Mehmet, his name is Mehmet. Mehmet Oz. Is he white? What is he? What is the nationality of Mehmet Oz? Because Mehmet doesn't sound like a real it doesn't sound like he's from Idaho. I don't know. But anyway, just let's not hire another celebrity, please. Let's not hire another celebrity. Let's move on. Now, when I was growing up, what sold me on conservatism as a kid was the way that the Democratic Party used to make us sound like we were incapable, like minorities, immigrants. We're incapable of excelling because we were just minorities. We were dumb immigrants. That's what I felt. I know that wasn't probably their intent. I know that's the way that it was sold to me, obviously, growing up in a middle upper class white neighborhood. And it was sold to me that, these guys think that you're basically like unable to excel. And my answer to that was always, look, man, I have a fairly high IQ. I can speak 2 languages fluently. Like I'm not dumb. I can excel. And so that's why I was like, well, fuck it. I'm going to be a Republican because Republicans treat me like an equal. Or so I thought. I mean, I know I'm painting with a very broad brush, but for the most part, that's the way it was. But the reality is that in part, the Democratic Party was right. The fact that we were immigrants means that in many ways it was harder for us to excel and move forward in American life. But the people that were perpetuating that type of thinking, that type of law, that type of thing, it was the right that was doing it. So in addition to the poverty present in most of America today and to a lesser extent back then, we, the immigrants and the minorities, have the added bonus of having either weird customs, eating stuff that looks or smells weird, being ridiculed by them by other people because we were different than them. This was something that was way more in fashion to ridicule when I was growing up in the 90s. Right now, it's honestly, in fact, I can even remember an encounter with a kid named Cody. He lived on the main street in the neighborhood I grew up in. And I was walking by his house with my cousin. I think I might have told the story here. And I was walking by his house with my cousin, and he yelled at me. He said, "Hey, Spick, go back to your country." Now, clearly, he and I weren't friends. We weren't homies. It wasn't like he was a Spanish guy and it was like one of those things where like, hey, like it wasn't like that. So today, if you would have said that to me, my first thought would be like, go back home, like Boston? Like Boston, Massachusetts? Because that's where I was. I mean, I was born in Lawrence, but you don't know where the hell Lawrence is because the kid wasn't exactly a Mensa candidate. But, maybe I would have diffused the situation that way with a little bit of a "you're stupid" jab. Sadly, I wasn't as witty back then, and I just decided to throw a bike at him. So then I continued my walk. I say that to say that we've now gotten to the point where calling someone a spick is not something that you could just do. And ridiculing immigrants is generally seen as ignorant, as low class, and distasteful. They're trying to rebrand it with like a lot of the libertarian, types and like the Steven Crowder types that are real edgy, try to be edgelords with their comedy, ridiculing immigrants for one reason or another, or ridiculing, customs of minorities for one reason or another, or any other oppressed group. I think they're really riding high on the trans train right now. They're ridiculing the trans people in the left because that's what they do. Whatever is in fashion for people on the left to try and help and to try and make better. It seems like the conservative right, the Steven Crowders of this world, that specific wing of the right, Matt Gaetz's of this world, I feel like those people actively work against the progressive. I mean, it's in the words, but I know it sounds like it's oh duh, but really, that isn't something that. It's not smart. It's like, oh, let me see what these people are trying to make better for these oppressed people, and they're like, no, we're not letting it happen. It's like, for real? For real? I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that, but at the end of the day, here's my problem with this whole LatinX thing. This is the battle right now. Who is more woke? So now we're swinging the other way. The new battle is who is more woke? And I consider myself pretty progressive overall. I'm a fairly progressive dude, I think. I'm an advocate of the LGBT community. I'm outspoken about it. I'm outspoken about trans rights. I have a lot of learning to do, and I've had a lot of learning to do in the last 20 years, I guess. But I have yet to hear a compelling argument for introducing LatinX to my vernacular, to my daily vernacular. And apparently, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only person who has this issue of Latinx and the usage of Latinx for the purposes of inclusion. Only 2% of people identify or call themselves Latinx. 40% find it offensive. And 30% of those polls, including 30% of Democrats, or actually it was like half of them, including 30% of Democrats, won't vote for somebody who uses the term. So 30% of the Democrats that were polled will not vote for somebody who uses the term Latinx. I don't know that I would go that far. Using a term is not a disqualifier for me unless it's something really hateful. 68% of the people that were polled call themselves Spanish, or Hispanic rather. And 21% favor the word Latino or Latina to describe themselves. Now, for those playing the home game, who don't have a dog in the fight, my white and my black friends that are not of the Latino or Hispanic heritage. Hispanic equals people who speak Spanish or are descendants from a Spanish-speaking population. So do they speak Spanish? They're Hispanic. Pretty simple, right? Latino are people who are descendants of Latin America. So, for instance, to give you an idea, Hispanic includes Spain, but does not include Brazil, French Guiana. I don't know what Guadalupe. I don't know. Haiti is it's not considered Hispanic, but it's considered. Let's see here. So, oh wow, okay. This is there's a what do you call those? Not a Venn diagram. Venn diagram, the circles. Anyway, the point is, Latino or Latina includes Brazil, French Guiana, Guadalupe, Martinique, Haiti, Saint Barthélemy, and Saint Martin. It does not include Spain. Latino, Latina, and Hispanic include Argentina, Bolivia, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras. I'm switching back and forth between Spanish accent and American accent. Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico or Mexico, Nicaragua, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, Puerto Rico, Uruguay, and Venezuela. Those are all considered Latino or Latina and Hispanic. Hispanic only includes Spain, but does not include. Hispanic does include Spain. I guess, yeah, it does, because they're Spanish speaking. That would make total sense. Anyway, the point is that there's a difference between the two, but they've been used interchangeably for a while. It's kind of nice to get that clarification every once in a while. I think I did it during Hispanic Heritage Month or something like that. But anyway, the poll was conducted by a firm that specializes in Latin outrage, which is a weird thing to specialize in, but I guess you need to know when Latin people are outraged. We're pretty loud. I guess you don't need somebody to tell. We're loud. We'll tell you. So as I have in the past, if you give me a good reason to use Latinx, I will use it. Even if the reason is that you just like it, I don't care. I'll call you whatever you want. My issue is here's the bedrock of my issue with this whole Latinx thing. What about the rest of the language? What about the rest of the language? Because the entire language, like let's say I adopt it, LatinX. I use LatinX to refer to anybody that is Latin, Latino, Latina, LatinX, right? So I use that. But what about the rest of the language? What about la silla? That's female. It's a chair, but chairs are female in Spanish. So la silla, la sillax. What about la computadora? La computadorex. I heard somewhere that they were using Wemex, but I think that might have been a joke. I hope it's a joke. Please don't, like... And I hate when people, like, you know, mix the whole being woke or use being woke as a derogatory term. I think being woke is a good thing. But I also think that being this way for the sake of, you know, trying to appeal to people, and generally it's insulting. You know? It's insulting. I don't know. What do you think, though? Do you think that we should have a Latinx? Is it Latino, Latina? And who do we call Latinx? Just the people that say they want to be called? Do we call everybody Latinx so everybody's on the same page? How do we do that? What's the protocol? I'd like to know. Before we get into the Roe v. Wade thing, the Fox News Christmas tree was burned down. And oh my God, have you heard the reports about it? These people sound like it was 9/11. They sound, I think somebody called it Santifa. Got burned down by Santifa. Oh. Does anybody else see how do you not see the grift in Fox News and in general mainstream media? General mainstream media is exactly that. Oh, we're going to find a way to outrage. They found the guy. It wasn't an Antifa's. It wasn't Santifa. It was just some dude. Some dude who also apparently exposed himself outside of the Ghislaine Maxwell hearing. So the guy had the other thing on his schedule, and then he had this. He had those were the two things that he had. Now, I ask you this. If they found one shred of evidence that this guy was a liberal, how much grief do you think? How much do you think that they would ride that train? Because I'll tell you this. They may be burning down the Fox News, the Fox Christmas tree, which, by the way, they called it like an attack on America. And one of the hosts apparently said that the Christmas tree stands for Christ and for Hanukkah. The Christmas tree, lady. The Christmas tree stands for Christmas. That's it. So, if they had one shred of evidence that this guy was a Antifa or anything like that, they would play that. They would ride that train until the wheels fell off. But unfortunately, him exposing himself at Ghislaine Maxwell's hearing, the people that are most hostile. I mean, everybody should be hostile to that monster. But the people that are most hostile about, child sex traffickers and stuff like that are the Q people, and largely Q people are conservatives. So that's why I'm guessing that's why they just kind of make the general thing. They don't concentrate on the guy. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Fox News, but the little bit that I've watched, that's what it looks like. So the war on Christmas continues, and Fox News is at the head of it. Whatever. At the end of the day, those Republicans in Fox News, specifically, I would say the Republicans in Fox News and the Republicans in government don't really want Roe v. Wade to be overturned. I don't know if you've been watching the news, but there has been the closest thing to a threat of Roe v. Wade being overturned happening right now. I don't know if I would guess that I would have heard it at this point. What the final what the final thing was, but I guess that's not it hasn't been finalized yet. But Roe v. Wade could be overturned. This is the first time in 40 years that it could actually happen. And my point of view, from where I'm standing, Roe v. Wade overturned is something that they don't want. They don't want this the same way Trump didn't want to win. Follow me here. This has been a cash cow for Republican politicians, and it has been a big draw. That's the entire reason Roe v. Wade was put up there. The entire reason that Roe v. Wade was brought up is for two reasons. Well, really for one main reason, and that is to activate the Christian populace to go out and vote, because back then they really didn't vote much, and the Christians were divided between the Protestants and the Catholics, and they always hated each other. So now, if you take the Protestants and you give them a common enemy, abortion, that's it. Problem solved. Now you have an activated, passionate group of people that really want to, what they want to move these people to go vote and take over, and that's really what they did. Millennials, we've seen Roe v. Wade as our whole lives. The entire time that we've been even the slightest politically aware. If you were evangelical, that was way before. We were politically aware way before, usually, because of the infiltration of the Republican Party into the church. But what happens when these people actually overturn it? This is like when you have a friend that's like talking shit at a person that's way bigger than them. They have no business fighting them. And they just keep talking and talking and talking because they know that there's an obstacle between them and that big person. But then that obstacle is removed, and suddenly they have to actually do things. In this case, the Republicans are actually going to have to battle on policy. And when you take that boogeyman away of, Roe v. Wade, you find out that over 60%, 68% or something like that of the population, 68% of the population is in favor of women's rights in some form or fashion, abortion in some form, the pro-choice in some form or fashion. Very few are completely, totally, 100% against abortion. At least some people, rape and incest is a for most people, rape and incest is a deal breaker, even from the pro-life crew. But if you don't have that anymore, if these people don't have if they don't have a boogeyman like this, they're not going to be able to win on policy. Conservatives as they are today, and especially Trump Republicans. Like, I know he's the most popular person, blah, 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 blah. If they overturn Roe v. Wade, that will be that's the nail in the coffin for the Republican Party, in my opinion. This is Donald Trump running and expecting not to win just so that he can, write some books and things like that, build the brand. That was really his shtick. His only reason for running was because I think, was it Stephen Colbert said something about it? Barack Obama said something about it, and because it would be good for the brand. It would be good for the brand. That's it. And then he ended up getting elected, and he was like, whoopsie daisy. It sucks when you're bluffing your way into a position that you don't know what it is. You don't know what it entails. And that is exactly what Donald Jebediah Trump did. So at the end of the day, Roe v. Wade is, if it gets overturned, the Republican Party will be dead. So what do you think? Should we have Roe v. Wade overturned for just a small amount of time? Because that's what'll happen. They'll find some legal precedent loophole BS, just like they do for anything else. And they'll be like, oh, no, just kidding. Roe v. Wade is we're back on. Go get your abortions if you need them. The other fallacy that people have about abortions, not that I've had one, I have no idea, but from what I've been told from women who have had it, people think that it's just this simple, trip to the doctor or whatever. There's a lot of mental anguish that goes along with that. Like, there's a lot of trauma and a lot of BS that they have to go through on top of if they are living with a family that is, evangelical, conservative, et cetera, that don't believe in abortion under any circumstances. In addition to having to deal with that, their closest people, they also have to deal with the fact that the normal, trauma that comes with, ending a pregnancy. So before you get all nonchalant, before you go all nonchalantly and support pro-life and be like, oh, babies, it's a baby's life, it's a baby's life. Can we take care of the babies that are now grown-ups that are, mentally ill? And can we take care of the people that are already born before we start thinking about the unborn? Because the unborn, there's still a debate on where it becomes human. And again, I don't have a real dog in the fight. And anybody that has a penis doesn't have a dog in the fight. So why don't we just let the people that don't have the penises figure that out? Let's let, if you have a vagina, you don't make laws about penises, and in turn we will do the same. I mean, we've been doing the same for a while. We haven't, most of the people that are making laws are white men. So, but anyway, all that to say, mind your business. Mind your business and let people do what they need to do in order to survive. And Roe v. Wade, like I said, if Roe v. Wade is overturned, it'll be the end of the Republican Party as we know it. My name is DJ Zouain. You can find me anywhere on social media at DJ Zouai. And you can find me at the N.FM. You can go check out the podcast, check out the latest mixes. I'm doing a mix right now for my buddies over at Real Radio, and that's going to be really cool. More information on that later on. But yeah, other than that, if you have any, we have some really cool stuff coming up on let's see, did I do that right? I think I did that right. Let's see, did I do that right? Yeah, I did. All right. We have Irreverent coming back. Irreverent is coming back, boys and girls. Yes, my buddy James, who is a bona fide pastor, will be joining me. Hopefully he won't ask me to remove the shows that he was on, because that would be annoying. And we've already dealt with that one. So, but keep on the lookout. January will be the first one. First week of January, we're starting a new Irreverent. We're going to be doing it once a month. And just follow me at DJ Zouain on all social media so you can keep up to date. And until then, I'll talk to you next week or the week after. Let's see. Bye.